Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you a game between Roxas Fraer versus Empire's Happy here on Antigua Shipyard. I believe this is the GSL version of the map. No gold mineral patches in the center. There are supply depots, however, on the low ramp there. Now let's take a look into this series and this game, and we'll see what's going to go down. Happy spawning as the red Terran player at what I will call the 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Fraer spawning as the green Protoss here at the 10 or 11 o'clock position. So it is going to be cross spawns. I do believe that it is forced cross spawns here. That should make for a rather longer, much more interesting macro style of game. Now, Terran versus Protoss, we'll see what the strategies will be. As of late, they've really been playing a little bit defensively, making sure that to utilize that defender's advantage in order to get a strong economic opening. As soon as they have that strong economic opening, they then burst onto the scene with a lot of gateways, a lot of barracks, a lot of factories, and then try to duke it out in the center. If one of the players were to try to go for, say, an unconventional strategy or a little bit of harassment, we'll see how it does. Terran players can utilize Banshees pretty effectively. Hellions are also pretty strong as well, as long as they are in mass numbers. And also Dark Templars for the Protoss, or even a Void Ray and Phoenixes, are very, very effective early on in the game. You're going to see a probe now make his way out from Fraer. Fraer just going to do a little bit of scouting here. There is a supply depot on the front door. No player has established their gas as of yet. So it looks like, nope, I spoke too soon. Fraer going to get his gas now. So it should be that standard economic opening with the Cybernetics core, and then perhaps a one gate expand. Taking a look at the Terran style, the Terran is going to be opening up with a gasless expand, so he will be getting up a command center up in just a second, and as soon as that command center is placed down, he should follow it up with 2 additional barracks followed by 2 refineries. A very, very standard, straightforward build that a lot of Terran players have really feel comfortable with in general. The probe now perhaps going to try to hide in the vents a little bit. As the probe is making his rounds, will be able to just run back down the ramp and make another move. Cybernetics core is about halfway completed. That means that we may see some stalkers try to poke up the ramp here. So a bunker will need to be placed down perhaps here or here and here, making sure that the stalkers are unable to easily run by. That is going to be the key part, as the command center has already been started. One SCV on patrol here, making sure that no Nexus does go down. A Zealot will easily take care of that, though, as the SCV doesn't even try to run away to head back home. Happy is sitting at 19 over 19. He is a bit supply blocked, getting up another supply depot now, for some reason not establishing it off over here, but instead down here. We are going to see perhaps 2 additional barracks be placed down. There is that bunker that I mentioned. One Marine already there. A second Marine should be able to make his way over in just a second. And now adding a 3rd Marine. Zealot and Pro perhaps going to try to charge up that ramp, but it's going to be difficult. The Zealot will take a lot of damage just trying to run by here, and that may be a little bit of an issue, as the probe may take a lot of damage. Oh yes, the probe does take some damage in addition to the Zealot. Those both units will just sit down on the low ground now, as we are going into that double racks and 2 gas build that I mentioned by Happy. Taking a look at what our Protoss friend is doing, he is getting 2 additional gateways now. That Nexus is about 75-80% completed. He'll be able to transfer some probes down over there and begin mining once more. Cybernetics core already about 20, or only needs 25 seconds left. And I don't believe Fraer can really do much with this Stalker and this Zealot. If it tries to run up the ramp, there are now 3 or 4 Marines inside that bunker. 4 Marines inside that bunker. Also, Fraer doesn't know what other buildings are there. The Stalker is going to try to test the waters, see that it is pretty much now a full bunker, and try to pull away. The Marines, after that Stalker takes a lot of damage, the Marines would just be able to hop out of that bunker and chase after those units. As the Marines are now trying to push down, is it going to be able to get some damage? Yes, it is going to be able to get some damage, but not any true damage there, as the 1 Marine back down over here. The 1 Stalker of Fraer caught sight of all of those Marines and now backed away. The Marine's going to try to go after the Stalker again. A little bit of this can-do attitude. I'm just going to try to patrol back and forth. one Marine now on the low ground, making sure that there's no proxy pylon immediately outside his door. Happy now needs to retreat with these Marines, putting the lower hit point Marines inside the bunker. Very, very nice play. Also keeping a Marauder close by as well. Taking a look at the builds, we have 3 barracks. We are going into the factory. Happy will most likely be then transitioning into a gateway, or sorry, not into a gateway, into the Stargate. Back over here, we are going to have, only 3 warp gates, and that is it. So it looks like Fraer is really trying to lay down some pressure here, but with not much of a follow-up strategy, I don't know how successful it will be. He only has 3 gateways, and he's going up against 3 barracks right now. It is 40 probes versus 32 SCVs. We are now going into a double factory build. So interesting that we are actually going to see mech units. Sometimes we only see a reactor built on the factory and then swapped with the starport in order to double train medevacs. That will be the case here, but with the second factory now was that an engineering bay, and now was the factory canceled? Yes, the factory was canceled. Alright, so it looks like it is just going to be a traditional bio as the Marines are going to try to engage here. Sentries, quickly get focused down there. One SCV trying to repair. Is it going to be enough? The Marines now trying to come back around. The Marines and the Marauders battling it up. The Sentries with a decent amount of armor help with that Guardian Shield. Going to finish off many of the supply depots as the Marines now going to regroup together. SCVs leading the way in order to charge and push back this attack. Fraer doing a good job, and he may get enough kills here. Another force field would trap many of these SCVs. Stalkers now up on the high ground, able to just simply stay there, and Happy now in a bit of trouble. And with only 1 bunker on the front side, even though there was only 3 gateways powering that attack and that pressure, it was still just enough in order to force SCVs to be pulled off. Now, Happy looks like he is going to be going into a factory here. We are going into a bunker here as well. Happy trying to get away from the ramp. But that means that Fraer is going to be able to just simply walk up there in just a moment, as Fraer now going into 6 warp gate tech and a Twilight Council, so we may even see Archons. Archons definitely very, very effective against Terran bio, especially when there are no ghosts to deal with to remove all of their shields. We are now sitting on 5 barracks strategy, a 5 rack strategy. Starport now still double training medevacs. Happy hoping to be able to fend off this next attack. Otherwise, Fraer may be able to deal a lot of damage just simply walking up this ramp. Factory taking a lot of damage now, already down to 1,000 some odd hit points. Going to be able to get underneath that factory, deal a lot of damage, and perhaps stop any more starport. Starport construction. Stalkers now trying to engage here. SCVs are repairing on the front and the back as well. Stalkers are getting taken down. No Zealots in this group, and the Stalkers are just dealing a lot of damage so far. So far, the Marauders and the Marines have not been able to get through, but I believe Fraer may have pushed a little bit too far. The Marauders do have concussive shells, so should be able to finish off some of those units. Another Stalker gets taken down there. And now the Stalkers are able to retreat. The Stalkers, interestingly enough, had level 1 armor upgrades first, allowing the Sentries to really do their job, reducing the amount of damage that those units take. Now we are going into level 2 armor upgrades. Fraer going to be trying to follow this up, but he may have overexposed his hand just a bit. It is now 51 to 32 workers. The economy of Protoss going to be much higher, but the supply is surprisingly even at this stage. 93 supply to 81 supply, and the majority of that is going to be in workers. So army compositions are pretty neck and neck. Medevacs now being trained once more. We are looking at a time when Terran wants to push back, and it looks like they're going to be doing exactly that. One proxy pylon down over here has been taken down. This proxy pylon up on the high ground still operational, as we are now going into our nexus. Fraer going to attempt to land this factory here. Scanner sweep reveals a pretty large army of Zealots and Sentries. Not that many Stalkers, and the Marines and the Marauders will be able to destroy this rather easily, and perhaps be able to stop a 3rd base from happening. This is exactly what Happy needs to do in order to get back into this 94 supply compared to 108. We're going to have another round of Zealots come in. The Zealots do have charge. Force fields were laid down. The Marines and the Marauders are going to finish off the pylon here, and then perhaps, yes, force a cancellation on the Nexus. Marines and Marauders utilizing that stim very effectively. We'll see how much damage it can do as the Stalkers, Zealots, and Sentries are down here. Perhaps we will see a bit of a flank. 2 Marauders caught out of position. There's some force fields, and the force fields splitting up this army once more, but Zealots are getting caught now down on the low ground. Sentries now trying to prevent any more damage coming in. Both sides battling it up. Stalkers with their superior ranging over their Marines, able to get a lot of damage, and some medevacs may get taken down. So the medevacs are now getting taken out as well. And Fraer now in the world of hurt, down to 79 supply compared to Happy's 94. Happy may take this opportunity perhaps to expand, as we're seeing the factory still fly overhead. One Marauder quickly going to get taken down. The factory down to 560 hit points. Are they going to chase it? No, they are not. Well, finally they are. Stalkers should be able to get that one factory to start to burn, and as soon as it starts to burn, it will fall relatively quickly. Now, down over here, Marauders, Marines, Medevacs once again doing another move. The Medevacs now pretty much low on energy, not quite sure where they can go. The factory will burn down in just a second. We are going into a Ghost Academy as the Protoss ground armor level 3 now being researched, level 2 weapons upgrade, and this is going up against soon to be 2-1 Terran bio. The Marauders are now upgraded 1-1, but the upgrades are going to make a huge difference, as Fraer should have the advantage there. Storm, I believe, will be completed in just a second. There are a decent amount of High Templars already in play. We are going into a Mobius reactor for more EMP shockwaves, as we now have a drop off over here. The Storm not yet quite ready. Is it going to be able to get a Storm? Yes, there is a Storm just in time as it falls. Meanwhile, the Zealots are going to be able to push this back. How much damage can be had? A double medevac drop over here at the 11 o'clock position. It looks like a lot of units have been taken out. Zealots now trying to reinforce, and Happy really pushing his way back into this game, utilizing a very effective drop. Fraer should have expected a drop. No photon cannons. 2 High Templars are over there. What are they going to do except get taken down very, very easily? The medevacs are going to both get feedback, but there was really no energy on them. That was a really horrible, horrible waste, as we now see Zealots perhaps going to try to charge in far too ahead where they should be. There's some Storm, a lot of damage dealt there, and now another Storm. The Marauders being forced to perhaps delay their attack, and now the High Templars, are they going to get taken out? Yes, one High Templar does go down. Zealots looking to perhaps take down a command center. Both sides engaging here. Force field only one. More feedback onto the medevacs. The medevacs now out of energy. One medevac does go down, as the medevac now spots this proxy pylon on the high ground and will attempt to destroy it. Fraer in a bit of trouble. He is now down by about 25 supply. He is running up on an additional base though, and he is now sitting at 48 probes compared to 41. 3 base versus 3 base. The orbital command has been completed. More mules going to be called down into play, and Happy will be able to simply just dump all of his resources into these barracks here and build up and macro up a much larger army. Happy perhaps going for the killing blow. The Zealot unable to chase after that one Marauder there. Marauders do move fairly quickly. There is an Archon level 3 armor upgrades. We'll see if it's going to be enough, as the Ghost gets feedback level and another feedback on another Ghost. No EMP shockwave, as the Zealots are now perhaps going to be able to do a surround here. The Archon should perhaps be trying to push in and take down this this Bioforce. The Bioforce really, really weak against these Archons, but the Marauders and the Marines somehow able to push back again. All of these medevacs pretty much out of energy except for 1 or 2 of those units. High Templar could be coming in for a Storm, and a beautiful Storm it is. Happy taking a lot more losses than he should there, and 3 medevacs quickly get destroyed. Happy with a much stronger force here, and here we go. The Archon is going to try to take down those units here. Not quite sure why Happy decided to focus down an Archon that couldn't even fight back yet. If you can focus 2 full hit point Archons, one that can't attack and one that can, why would you ever go for the other? Zealot did get a nice charge here. The Marauders and the Marines gonna come back, regroup, and the Marauders and the Marines look like they will be able to live and fight another day. Archons and Zealots looking to retreat once more. We have 3 High Templars now up on the high ground. Marauders, Marines, and Ghosts down over here. We are going into another barracks by Happy, so Happy really favoring his bio play over any mech play this time around, and Marauders and Marines still making their way down off over here. Happy continuing to mine away with SCVs. Harvester count, things are looking good for Terran, 56 to 56 with a lot of mules. Those mules are going to just continue to give even more minerals, as it is about a 300 resource difference between these 2 armies. 1 Zealot sitting off over here. Happy still with about the 35 to 40 supply advantage. Ghost alongside Happy should be able to take down many of these units here, as one probe looking to take another base doesn't look like it will be able to, as a medevac drop could be coming in along the north. There is now one photon cannon here. Is it going to be enough to fend off the attack? We'll have to wait and see the medevacs. Do they spot the photon cannon? Yes, the photon cannon doesn't spot them. Yes, the medevacs are going to do a little bit of a long fly around and now drop straight inside the main base here. Zealots trying to warp in. Feedback across both medevacs. No more healing coming in on any of those units, as the Marauders and the Marines going to focus down some probes. The medevacs, however, only dropships now, and as stalkers are making their way back over here, nope, no stalkers are making their way over here. Happy now doing another attack in the main base. Psystorm, both sides, a small skirmish here. High Templars, Archons, Zealots, both sides going to try to engage, and another nice Psystorm there, pressing those units back, but the main attack, or the main drop force, is still in play as the Marauders and the Marines look to focus down a Nexus and hurt the production of Fraer. Fraer now looking to see where he can go next. The medevacs could drop back onto the low ground here at the natural expansion. Zealots now trying to make their way in. The Marauders going after the Forge. The Forge may get taken down to 10 hit points. It gets taken down just as the Marauder is destroyed, and one low hit point medevac with no more units inside it still gets to return home. Happy now seen at 143 versus over 153. Fraer now down by about 46 supply. We'll see what's going to happen next. What, level 3 weapons upgrade coming in. Level 3 armor upgrades. Level 3 weapons upgrade already completed by the Terran bio. More and more units are getting taken down. Oh, it's a beautiful use of snipe there, taking down those units. And now the Archon, which is one of the only few units that takes 50 damage from a snipe. It looks as though Froxus Rayer is just gonna have to perhaps try and figure out when this attack will come in. Probes once again getting destroyed, and now this supply difference is just continuing to grow and grow. Archons and Psystorm, all it's gonna take is one nice engagement, 3 or 4 good Psystorms, and this entire Bioforce could be gone in just a matter of seconds. I don't see Happy making that critical of a mistake, though. We'll see what's going to happen. Zealots now trying to engage. Oh, double snipe, taking down. And there is a feedback there. So is the High Templar. Oh, an EMP shockwave and a snipe. And we'll see what's going to go down as the units are continuing to battle it out. Happy now with a 70 supply, almost 70 supply, 68 supply advantage. Fraer needs to figure out where he can mine away with more probes. The main base has been mined out, and now here we go, a very large engagement. Zealots, Ghost now trying to battle it out. The High Templars are getting taken down. An EMP shockwave did hit, and it looks like all of these units will simply just get destroyed. More Zealots now trying to reinforce. They are tanking damage while no one else is dealing it, and that is always a very, very sad day, as it looks as though Fraer will be giving the GG in just a moment. This Terran Bioforce more than double the size. Psystorm doesn't even have to dodge it at this point. There are simply too many medevacs, and Fraer says GG. Happy taking game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.